You know what's really wild? You've been telling yourself you'll start that thing, write the book, launch the idea, move somewhere new, change directions, finally live like you mean it someday. And still, no one's shown up to hand you that magical window of time. And deep down, you know it's not coming. Not because you're lazy, not because you're unmotivated, but because someday isn't a real day. It's not on your calendar. You can't circle it. You can't block it off time for it. It's just this vague idea you keep circling around like it's going to schedule itself. But here's the kicker. You might be building your whole life around it. That imaginary day you keep hoping will finally deliver the life you've been picturing. Most of us aren't dreaming too big. We're dreaming too vaguely. You want something different. You feel it, but it's all floating around in your head. No timeline, no details, just this open-ended someday. And I get it, because I've done that too. For years, I kept saying I wanted to write more, like actually write, but I never scheduled it. I just kept waiting for the right time, which apparently is located somewhere between when I'm less busy and really never. And in the meantime, everything else somehow took priority. Emails, laundry, other people's stuff, even things I didn't actually care about. My dreams just kept getting bumped down the list without me even noticing. But when I have time is not a real day of the week. And nothing changed until I blocked off time and treated it like it mattered. That's the shift. I stopped hoping and started putting it on the calendar like it was a dentist appointment I could not cancel. So let's talk about the sneakiest way we stall ourselves. We wait until we feel ready to start, ready to be seen, ready to finally go for it. But guess what? That feeling usually doesn't come first. Action comes first. Readiness shows up after you take action. You'd think there'd be some kind of signal, like a little internal green light that says, okay, now you're ready. But nope, that's not how it goes. While you're sitting there waiting for that official go-ahead, time just keeps passing. And if you're telling yourself not now, it might really mean not ever. So let's say you finally do get clear on what you want. Now what? Because getting clear on your dream is a good first step, but it's not the whole thing. If it's not on your calendar, it's not real. So you want to ask yourself, what would this dream actually look like as a task? Could you block off 30 minutes this week to take one small step? Because a vague dream with no plan just stays a fantasy, and a small action, that's where momentum begins. For me, I finally reached out to someone who was doing what I wanted to do. We had one conversation. It was just one simple conversation, and it completely reset how I saw my next steps. So it wasn't a dramatic moment, no big movie moment, but it moved the needle for me. And you would be surprised how often the first step is so small that it almost feels pointless. But those are the ones that unlock the whole thing. So here's an exercise that I did that changed everything for me. So I'm sharing it so that you can take it on as well. Pick one thing you keep saying you want and ask yourself, What am I actually going to schedule and do about it this week? Then don't just think about it. Open your calendar or pick up your phone calendar. Pick a day, pick a time, block it in like it matters, because it does. That simple act, choosing one thing and making space for it, completely changed how I saw myself. Because suddenly I wasn't just thinking about the life I wanted, I was actually making room for it. Even when it was messy, even when it was awkward, even when I had no clue what I was doing. And yeah, most of the time, I didn't feel like some unstoppable force at all. I felt like someone who was awkwardly Googling how to format an ebook while watching TV at 10 o'clock at night. But that still counted. Here's the point I want you to get. You don't need a grand plan. You need a calendar date, a small task, and a promise to yourself to show up. That's it. Because once you do that, everything changes. Not all at once, and it's not going to be like a movie montage with swelling music, but in small ways that build your self-trust brick by brick. You start to show up differently. You start to carry yourself like someone who's actually in motion, and people notice. Opportunities shift, and suddenly you're not waiting anymore. You're living it. You're actually living it. And sure, it might feel messy, and it's gonna feel uncomfortable. I guarantee it. And you might have full moments of, what am I doing? But every time you act on a dream instead of stalling, you rewrite the story you've been telling yourself about who you are and what's possible for you. Clarity comes from taking action, and confidence flows out of that action. And the life you want, it doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to follow through. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick a day, pick a time, pick a task. Doesn't have to be big. It just has to be real. And then someday isn't invited to the party anymore. See you in the next one.